Hey everybody, welcome to Roll the Dice with Dave. First, want to say glad for all the support we had last week. It was awesome to see so many people engaging and having a good time. One of the things I want to let everybody know is I am actually broadcasting this week from the road. My daughter is returning for her sophomore year to West Texas A&M University, so I have been driving all the way from St. Augustine, Florida, out to Canyon, Texas. Now I'm on my way back to St. Augustine, Florida, talking about 2,800 to 3,000 miles round trip. And as a result, had to stop in Terrell, Texas. So this is where we're going to be broadcasting today. So you'll have to forgive me if the show looks a little grainy, looks a little off. Broadcasting using hotel Wi-Fi. So hopefully everything will come through for you. We have a great show today, and I think today's show is very fitting for what we're going to have in store. It is about dad discussions, and I did something that was very hard for me today, dropping my daughter off, leaving her off in her own apartment for the first time. And it hits you a little bit different when you're a girl dad, right? It just puts it in a different perspective. So what I want you to do as we're looking with today's information. If you like the show, please go ahead and drop a like on there. Also, please go ahead and share Roll the Dice with Dave. Trying to get a lot of people interactive. And like I said, this show is about us being the change that we want to see. Also, if anybody's interested in being a guest on the show, please go ahead and reach out. Also, please make sure you comment on the stream. You can drop comments and I will pull them up during the broadcast. Also, if you're interested in being a guest, feel free to go ahead and email me at rollthedicewithdave@gmail.com. So today, as we are going through, if you do make any comments, please feel free to hashtag Roll the Dice with Dave. You could also, if you end up watching this on a replay, go ahead and hashtag the replay, and that'll just let me know if you came in later to check things out. So today I have a guest. It is a guy I've known for a while. I am going to go ahead and bring him into the broadcast studio. This is my man, Bryon Murphy. I just call him Murph. A lot of people know him as Murph. He and I go way, way back. And I asked him to sit on today's show because, as I mentioned, we're having dad discussions. And him and I have had a lot of great discussions revolving around our lives, not just as men, but now as dads, as fathers. So, Murph, before we get into today's show, I was wondering if you could do me a favor and just give a little synopsis, if you can remember how it is that we came to know each other. How did we meet?
Yes. So back in 2005, I started at ECU. And then in 2006, my wife, Anne Marie, joined me up there. And she was a hospitality major. And you were one of her first hospitality professors up there. And that's how it all came to be. You know, I mean, as big as East Carolina is, you know, individual colleges and individual, programs are pretty small. And as far as, family friendly and kind of get to know each other. And with me being a staff member and her being a student, it kind of changed the dynamic a little bit. It wasn't as, I guess looked down upon that you were fraternizing with the student, because you really weren't, and that's where it's at. So basically 2006 to here it is 2020. That's how long we've known each other.
I know that's crazy when I think about it, because we also had a connection in that I love athletics. So I was always at baseball games, football games, and you worked through athletics. And we had that brotherhood of bond through athletics as well.
Absolutely.
And just a little side note, I still have a gift that you gave me. I don't know if you remember. It was a windbreaker pullover, and across the front, real big, it just says East Carolina.
Okay.
For a while there, I thought I had lost it, in moves. I was like, man, I couldn't find it. We were moving a couch. And as we were moving the couch, I was like, what's this stuff in the cushion? And I pulled it out after I had been missing it for probably about 7-8 months after the move to St. Augustine, and found it in the cushions, pulled it out. And I'm excited about it because, Florida doesn't get cold very often. So I'm hoping that as we get into October and November, I'll actually have some weather I could throw over the pullover. So I still have that, man.
You being outside of Jacksonville and St. Augustine, you guys get a lot colder up there than we do down here, just south of Orlando, So, I mean, it's amazing that a two-hour drive you're dealing with cold temperatures up there, and we get like 3 days of winter here.
I know, I know. So I want to go ahead and jump into today. And the first question I have for you as a dad, what is your idea of perfect happiness? And this is one of those loaded questions, right? Because
That is a loaded question.
there's so many things. But like I said, we've had so many great conversations, and I consider you somebody that I can go to for advice. If I'm having a rough patch, I can reach out to you and get some good words of wisdom. So this first question, like I said, is there's a lot that can be decompartmentalized with this. So I just want to get your thoughts on what is your idea of perfect happiness?
Um, yeah, honestly, I don't know if I've ever put a thought into perfect happiness. Happiness to me is just being around my girls and just really small group. And, I'm not a big, even though people say I'm a social butterfly, like being out, dude, I've been home for 5 months now and I haven't been happier. Like I get paid to stay home basically right now. And that's great because I've spent time with my daughter. Anne Marie's actually had to start working because of everything, but and which is great for her. And I'm good. Like I don't know if perfect happiness, man. That's what is that, utilitarian?
Yeah.
I don't, I'm happy in the moment. I can't really plan. I'm not a planner. And looking too far ahead in the future, trying to figure out what's going on. Like I'm in the moment type of guy.
No, and I feel you on that. And let me put this comment up because I think this is great. Is this one of your buddies, or
That
Walter
is.
Horn?
Remember,
Walter
remember
Horn
the
put
remember the
great
sh-
dad.
remember the shoes I showed you earlier.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
was his son getting married.
Okay. All
Yeah,
right. So I think that says a lot. That's a testament. And I agree, Murph. We've spent a lot of time together, especially with my move to St. Augustine with my family, and having a chance now. You can go ahead, Mama. That's all right. And having a chance to spend so much more time with you and Anne, and just see you with your daughter. You really are an amazing father, and I think you're such a
thank
great
you.
example to people. Also, any other dads out there, or anybody in general, if you want to go ahead and comment, please go ahead and comment. I have no problem. Even if moms want to comment, even though today is called Dad Discussions, because we have a couple of fathers here, I'm open to listen to what anybody has to say. But I really think this is great that somebody has chimed in and talked about you, Murph, as a great dad. And I'm going to give my little thought on my idea of perfect happiness. And the reason I say this is such a loaded question is today I experienced something that instilled a great level of sadness in me, but at the same time had a great level of happiness for me. There's nothing more exciting, I think, as a parent than when you look to your kids and seeing them succeed. And Murph, you have a little bit of time before you get to this point where Bryon is going off. But my oldest daughter, Sadie, went back to Canyon, Texas to start her sophomore year. She has her own apartment. We help her move. So driving away, the ultimate sadness there in that I'm leaving my daughter who is moving into womanhood and adulthood and doing all this stuff. There's a big level of sadness there, but at the same time, there's a great level of perfect happiness because as I look at her, I go, man, I think I did something right because she's doing all the
Yeah.
right things. You
No,
know
you
what I'm
did that.
saying?
Dude. Sadie's
And that
Sadie's a
feels good.
great person, dude. You should be proud of yourself and Kathy as well about how awesome
So
Sadie is. I mean, the other three too. You two boys and Sophia. Diego, Pablo. You can't ask for better kids, man. And that Anne Marie and I were talking about this earlier. Um, the reflection of your parenting is in your kids. If your kid's excuse my French, but badass, and not in the good way,
yeah,
it's people know what you did as a parent when your kid acts out. So
I appreciate that, man. Thank you so much. Now moving to the next one, and again, anybody else can chime in. What is your greatest fear?
uh
I
man,
told you it was going to be tough, man.
yeah,
I
you
was going to
did,
be on
yeah,
the
you
spot.
did, yeah,
Yeah.
that's cool. uh you know um Yeah, I think my greatest fear would probably be just not seeing my daughter growing up. You know,
Hmm.
there's I worked with um, people, people who are, I don't, not in the end of life, but they're getting into their golden years of retirement and things like that. Especially working at Disney, you work with people who they kind of regret not having a daughter, because they're saying, I'm not going to be able to walk my daughter down the aisle. I don't have that. I don't have that experience that you're going to
Hmm.
have, and I did never really thought about it until I had a daughter, like, trying to, get her to a point where just something as simple as that is going to happen. So
Okay.
just missing milestones. That's why some changes have happened recently with me and in personal life and work and things like that. With all this mess that's going on right now, it's going to give me back a little bit of time I may not have gotten at my former employer, or not really a former employer because I'm still employed with them, and I don't know what's going to happen with everything, but. With them, I get back time that I may not have gotten. I've missed birthday parties of her friends because it's either that or sleep, and I was working third shift, so I got to choose sleep because I got to go back to work that night.
Hmm. Yeah, and I think that's a one thing that a lot of people can appreciate uh, with being a dad, the dads that grind it out. And you just mentioned something and I want to give a big shout out to my pops because even though I was really young, I remember the time being in Co-op City and my dad was going to school, working full time to give us a better life. And now being a 47-year-old father of four, not that I didn't appreciate what he was doing then, but as a kid, you don't pay attention to that stuff, right? You're just running around
Right.
playing, doing your thing. And I look back at it now and I go, man, my success is directly tied to that. The idea of getting up, grinding it out. Where did I learn it? I learned it from my dad. Getting up, grinding it out. Where did I learn it? I learned it from my mom, who supported my dad so he can do those things.
Right.
And I think those are the things that a lot of people sometimes don't think about. We have a couple other comments that came in, and I think I have to throw this one up because I think this is great. It's just a great comment. Live for today. Jenny, thank you so much for saying that. And that's something that I think looking at the level of happiness, and there's my beautiful wife, Kathy, sneaking
Master
in.
Robert.
I know, right? Sneaking in and she's getting us food too, man, because we've been on the road. So thank you, baby. But the whole idea of living for today, I think this situation we're dealing with COVID has really got people looking at how they can live for today. Here is another question. Actually, here's a quick question for you, Murph. How many kids and how old are Murph's kids? So if you
Uh,
want to go ahead
one
and
daughter, one daughter. That's all I need, and she's 8. She's all 8 and all a handful, but she's
she's 8
great.
going on 30.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no kidding. Yeah,
So
her. She's
yeah, I do, man. And we love her. I love her like she's my own child, man. Um, I don't know if this whole big quote comment will come in, but I'm going to give it a shot. Here we go. So,
oh yeah,
quality
yeah.
time is the idea of perfect happiness because the memories you make now and forever and can never be time lost. I tell you, that is so great. Walter, I don't know you, but I tell you what, I already like where your head's at, brother. I love it. Thank you so much for that. Perfect happiness. Keep up the good work. And it's true. And I think a lot of people need to start looking at their lives a little bit differently. And just to kind of touch into my greatest fear, I think my greatest fear is uh, going through my entire life and at the end of life, my kids going, Dad, we felt you didn't love us as much as you loved fill in the blank because I was doing all these other things. And I hope that when it's all said and done, my kids know that they were number one. That my wife knows she was number one. That my family was number one at the end of the day. So for me, my biggest fear is um, that they don't know that. That means that I left something out or I didn't do something right.
Yeah.
And oh, thank you so much. As I never would happen. I appreciate that. I love you so much for that comment. Thank you so much.
You know,
So
Can I touch base on that real quick?
Oh
What you
yeah,
just
man,
said.
please,
So,
please.
especially like in the, when your dad was raising you, he was, I'm sure he was so focused on getting you guys a better life. That I want the perfect life for my family, or as perfect as I can make it happen. And so it, I do too, but I don't want to spend my whole time working and trying to get those material goods to make it better, the best cars, the best houses, the best stuff.
Mhm.
Let's make what we got the best, or and it work. Let's make what we have work, and let's go have time together, whether it's in the house or somewhere. It's like I before all this stuff happened, we've never taken a family vacation. As much uh, as time as there is out there, like I
Mhm.
think with my new opportunity, we might be able to. Funding may not be there right at the beginning, but I haven't had an opportunity to be able to take a vacation with my family. Let's go do that. Let's plan for that. So and
Oh man, I love it. So this is somebody who is very near and dear to my heart. We only worked together for a short period of time, but I love her so much. Renee, thank you so much for chiming in. Happiness is found in the moments that we experience on our journey in everyday life. As a mom, my biggest fear is not having my sons and grandchildren saved and not accepting Jesus as your personal savior. Thank you so much for those words, Renee. Renee was such a calming force when I was the department chair at Livingstone College on those tough days. And she always put things in perspective, always puts things in a light that I think makes people realize, there's a lot more going on than what you have going on right now. There are bigger things to worry about. There's more important things to worry about.
Mhm.
So thank you so much, Renee, for saying that. Here's another comment that I love. Love exudes from you and your whole family. That's why you are all some of my favorite people in the whole world. And Josiah, we absolutely love you and your family. This is Harvey, and hopefully I'm
that T
saying
Harvey,
T Harvey.
T Harvey, T
Absolutely.
Harvey.
Okay. Absolutely. So Murph, I guess that's a testament to you and everything that you're about. So I appreciate all the comments of everybody chiming in. So this next one, like I said, this is another deep thought coming from you, a dad perspective. We're gonna throw this one up. What do you feel your current state of mind is right now with life?
Surprisingly, with all this turmoil happening and all this um, all this unknown, so to speak, um, I'm good, man. I just kind of have to take it a day at a time right now. I'm trying to transition into a teaching role, and the staff there, the principal, everybody there has been so great because they've known us for the 3 years that Brienne's been there. We're
Mhm.
super heavy in the volunteering there, as much as we could be, especially Anne Marie. Um, to go from there were to go from or to go to a school to start teaching at a school that my daughter is going to, and the level of excellence they try to achieve. You saw the classroom via the teleconference
Yeah,
we did.
man.
I mean, there's a middle school building that I'm showing you and what the stuff, and they're rivaling college, facilities as far as like academics are concerned. You're just like, wow. For them, to do that is just fantastic, and for them to want me to be there makes me feel good. But even so, even there was a lot of thinking that happened in the 5 months that I haven't been with Walt Disney World. There in some of that in it's not all them. They've called me back a
Yeah.
few times trying to go into work, but I'm not going to try and bring something home that I don't know about and it affect my family negatively.
Yeah.
Not saying that anybody there is doing that, but it's a possibility. And I want to keep my family safe, and if people keep you can't let fear keep you down. Well, fear is not keeping me down. If I was fearful, I wouldn't go to teach. I wouldn't go
Mhm.
pursue a new. I've been looking for a change, and this was just a catalyst for it. This was the conduit to let me um, um, get in there. Josiah, I'm actually an electrician by trade. You guys can't see the comment up there. She wants to know what my job is. I'm an electrician by trade. I started out doing college athletics. That's how I met Dave, as we discussed earlier. I kind of bounced around jobs at Disney when Anne Marie got an internship here because of East Carolina, and she did a college program. And then in 2012, after let's see, so I drove safari at Animal Kingdom. I worked at wine festivals. I was a concierge at Yacht and Beach Club. I drove the boats at Magic Kingdom, the transportation boats out front. So I kind of bounced around a little bit. And one of the electricians when I was at Watercraft, kind of pointed me in the direction of being an electrician. In 2012, I got that opportunity and got 4 years for it. I'm a state journeyman through the state of Florida, really the county of Polk, but it's the money is great. I can't lie about that, but I work 10:30 at night to 7 in the morning. Like I can't do that much longer, and then all of a sudden this thing happened, and when Disney said go home on March 11th, I went home and haven't been back. And now with things are happening, unfortunately, politically, and keeping things down or just not happening. People trying to rush things back. Funding is just not there anymore. So I had to think long and hard about taking a pretty significant pay cut to do it. But again, money can't buy happiness in the end, and happiness is my family. And
that's awesome.
And I'm it's contractually it's 196 days a year to be a teacher, at least in Polk County. It's you got summers off, you got weekends off, you got spring break off, you got your winter break off. Major holidays off. I would never sniff that at Disney, ever.
Yeah, that's right.
So and Disney's been great to my family. I literally everything that I have, with the exception of my house, which is my grandmother, and things, anything Disney has given me everything that I've worked for. But I think we're at the end of the road there. And trying to just jump on a new ship and find not happiness, but find a better family situation for myself and my family. Money can't buy you that.
Yeah, thank you so much for that insightful answer. And just to give Josiah a shout out on the college program, I remember when I drove you to Orlando to start the college program. And then going back later to help you get back to Columbia after the end of the college program. I tell you what, those were some good times, we have Walter coming in, heart and family. That's what's up, man. That is definitely a key aspect, I think, of what should be on a lot of people's minds, especially right now during these tough times. And I love it, Josiah. Just wishing Murph the best of luck going forward.
Thank you.
So my current state of mind, I'm in a good place, man. I tell you what, peace of mind. And I'll be honest. So we were just traveling, just borrowed a friend's cargo trailer to help Sadie move. And I think if COVID and all this stuff wasn't happening, I probably would have lost my mind at the fact that we got a flat tire. I had to drop it on the side of the highway, had to drive the truck and loop back to Terrell, Texas, get the tire fixed. Check into a hotel, then drive back out to the side of the highway. I probably would have lost my mind before March 12th, right? I would have been losing it.
Absolutely.
And while we're there, the whole time I was sitting there going, I don't know why this is happening, but you know what? I'm not going to question it. This is just happening for whatever the reason may be. Just let go and just breathe it out, and it's all going to be good, right?
And listen, you've had quite the 4 or 5 months, man. So much has happened with you and and which is great. It keeps you going and I've got some things in the works behind the scenes that hopefully will be resolved in the next couple of days. And and that's another opportunity that I'm trying to pursue. But with you, man, you've had so much happen in this 5 months, and really this past year that you guys been in St. Augustine, man. The opportunities that have you've been able to take advantage of, or at least presented and pick and choose what you want to do, has been fantastic.
Thank you for saying it. And it really has put things in perspective. I could always complain about the things that I don't have, or I could be very joyful about the things that have been brought to my life, right? And I look at those as blessings, not coincidence or anything
Hmm.
along those lines.
Right.
Along those lines, and I just feel so fortunate to have the life I do have. You know, my wife and I have been married 22 years, together 25. It's, you know, we have four, I think, great kids, and
Yeah, they're all right.
yes, you know, I could be saying, you know, I could be feeling a little biased, but um, you know, COVID hits, and it really lets you know who your friends and your family really were. You know, who the people that were really had your back and everything. And I was very grateful for being able to sift through that and know that if things really got bad, there were people I could rely on. But I need to be happy because I was blessed. I didn't lose my job. I didn't get furloughed. My wife didn't lose her job. She didn't get furloughed. We
Yep.
were in such a good position, and there were so many good things. We had more family time that we were just happy, and it really has put me. And this may sound cheesy, but in a state of zen. You know what I mean? Just kind of
I got
like,
you. Yeah.
you know what I mean? That things don't really seem to be getting me that worked up anymore. And I'm hoping to carry this well into the future.
So is Christy one of your students? Is she trying to earn brownie points
No,
already?
oh, okay. So, Christy Myers, she is the vice president of advancement. And I tell you
Okay.
what, I'm
All right.
so fortunate to know her and know so many people at Flagler. Flagler has really been a godsend, the way I see it. You know, you never know the path you're going to go on, and the chance to be at Flagler College and in St. Augustine, even with all that's happened. A lot of people have asked me if my first year at Flagler has been ruined in any way because of the COVID. And I've been out of my office since March 12th. And I would actually say that it's been exactly the opposite. Um, it has been so enriching. It has been so fulfilling. It has been an unbelievable adventure, and I'm really looking forward to what's to come, especially from the perspective of I feel Flagler's doing all the right things going forward. And I've mentioned this with the situation. We have great leadership. I trust in
Right.
them, and I think the most important thing is they trust in me to make the right
Yeah.
decisions for what I'm doing. So it's been a great adventure. Thank you so much, Christy, for saying that. It really means a lot to me. I love you, and I love Flagler College. I love this. So, and through this out there, hey, my
Talking about
four
your baby.
babies. All right. So, they're angels for you, but not always for us, right? That's just the way that goes. I love this. So, even my wife has made a comment. I was in labor when you got, oh my gosh, that's right. So, after I moved Josiah back from the college program that night, got home at about midnight, about 2 in the morning, Kat goes into labor with Pablo. And then we're running right off to the hospital. That was a crazy adventure, but it was a good fun adventure. And here's another one. I'm so glad you guys are putting family happiness over money.
So
Alan
that's
Baldwin.
that's Walt. That's Walter's brother. Now, Alan,
Okay,
that's he's my brother. Like, I'll have to show you a picture we have of, man. That's Alan's my dude, man. Bo, I love you guys. But yeah, he's seen it. He's seen it. You know, he's seen me happy and he's seen me sad. And for that comment, man, thank you.
that's awesome. That is awesome. Uh, that he's chiming in, and I tell you that just to show us support. I mean, that really says, and it's something I've known for a long time, but it's a testament to you who you are, Murph. So here we are with the next one. If you could change one thing about yourself, what would it be?
He said, "Same mom, same dad." um, so, one thing about myself, there's a couple things I changed, but the biggest one I think would be to probably take more pride in myself. I'm I don't want to say it's not it's just I more confidence in myself. I've done a lot of things that people um, that look at me and it's like, man, I never knew you were capable of that. And you just, comments like that, that make you feel good, and people trying to make you feel good, pump you up. You just kind of like, yeah, it's just me, whatever, I
Yeah,
just got to do what I got to do. I think that would be the major thing I would take about myself. That I don't take compliments well. Um, and that's a big thing. It's I try not to brag on myself because there are other people who have done it before me. I'm just doing a thing. I just got to do what I got to do it. But I guess I don't appreciate exactly what I'm doing, and taking the compliments that come with it, because there's some things that I look back on like, man, taking that jump that could have gone the wrong way, but I took the jump. So.
And I want to put this up. Renee, thank you again so much for saying this, as you and Kathy are where you are today because you are grounded by always being a blessing to others. Thank you so much for saying that. So happy. Oh, thank you. We are living the dream, and hopefully you can come down and visit us in St. Augustine. It's a beautiful place. You'd absolutely love it. Renee, you're always welcome. So it is, I tell you, thank you so much. I really appreciate that. If I could change anything, if I could change anything about myself, and Josiah says, just say thank you. If I could just change one thing about myself, that's tough. And I think it goes to like what you're saying. We always see our deepest flaws. And a lot of times we're always harder on ourselves than everything else. I think if I could change anything, it would maybe being a little less worried about the perfectionist aspect of my personality. A lot of times, some people may see something and they're like, "Man, that's awesome," and I'm like, "It's awesome," except for you kind of sit there and look at little things and get into it. So I think if I could just shed that and go, you know what? Sometimes what makes something awesome is the fact that it does have imperfections. And when you look at us and our spouses and all that kind of stuff, a lot of times we see the little flaws that they have, and that's sometimes what draws us to love them more, because they are human. They do have flaws. They do make mistakes, and those kinds of things. So Josiah put, no more just. Don't do that disservice to yourself. Learning that lesson right now myself. So that is true. That is a very true one. And I just want to give it. So I love this. Chef Jordan Walker, he's a student at Livingstone College, and actually now is working on his master's at, I believe it's Winston-Salem State University, a master's in business. I'm very proud of Jordan. He was one of the first students I met when I was working at Livingstone College. And I see him more now as a friend, going to be a lifelong friend versus just a student that I interacted with. He's going to accomplish great things. You guys pay attention because he's going to be on TV one day with his own chef show. So you guys watch out for that.
There's Mama.
Here is another one. What do you consider your greatest achievement?
My 8-year-old daughter.
Oh, that's awesome, man. That's awesome.
100%. Everybody makes kids every day, but they didn't make my kid. I did, and everything else is just trivial after that. And we try to, we're trying to make her the best person she could be, and that's it. That's my greatest achievement. I can't make anything more perfect than that.
And I'm glad you said that, because that's what I consider my children as well. And like I said, because at the end of the day, no matter what happens, your kids are a reflection of, like you said, you as parenting and as a type of person. And one of the best compliments I always love to hear about my kids is not when coaches say, man, they're just really good at baseball. They're really good at football. They're really good at softball. They were really good at volleyball. But when they say, man, your kid is just a great kid to be around. They're a great teammate. When they start going into those things, I feel so much better about that because they understand teamwork, camaraderie,
Yep.
What it is to be a good person. And those are the things that we want our kids to be, right? Good citizens. So I agree with you there. I love it. My mom commented, we are our worst critics. And it's funny in saying that, I always second guess, am I a crappy parent? Did I make a mistake? Am I doing this wrong? Am I a crappy husband? Am I a crappy dad? Am I a crappy man? And, what am I doing not right? So all of those things come into play. Walter, also another comment, nailed it. Boom, right on the head. Thank you so much. I love this. Hey, I helped 4 hours of labor, dude. And
4 days, not hours.
Oh,
days.
man, I missed that 4 days.
Yeah, she was due the
Man,
20th.
yeah.
She didn't pop out till the 24th. Like, come on.
Whoa, that's crazy. So, and then my mom also put my family. Oh, I love it. So I got to talk about this. Amber, she was a student at ECU, and she always used to make fun of me, calling me AC Slater. It is so it is so good to see that she's tuned in for the broadcast. Much love to you. She was one of my favorite people at East Carolina. She had a great sense of humor. She's just all around good person, and thank you so much for that. That comment, it brings back a lot of good memories, man. I love that. So moving on to the next, and here is one. What is your greatest regret?
Man, I honestly, I don't know. I don't try and, every step that we've ever taken has gotten us to where we are today. You can't regret, well, I should have done this, or I should have done that. What good is that you're living in the past with that? I don't really look back, other than, the anxiety of life, be like, man, the dreams that you have walking in naked in class and stuff like that, or in your underwear. There's, those, but that's, I don't, honestly, I don't think I have any regrets, because like I said, every step we've ever taken, every choice we've ever made has put us where we're at right here, right now. So, and I wouldn't change it for the world.
And that's a great answer. I think maybe that's why you and I get along so well. Um, I look at things and sometimes I go, man, I wonder if I had done this differently, how this would have played out. But I don't, looking back, regrets, really don't have any. And the reason I don't is if I change any of that, it changes my path, and I may not be where I am today. And, my sons and I always talk, and they go, man, did you ever think about when those schools came recruiting for baseball or football or anything like that going? And I said, yeah, I think about it all the time, but I'm glad it didn't work out, because if it did, I don't marry your mom. You're not my son. There's no telling where my life may be. And like I said, right now where I'm at, I am so good mentally with where my life is at and where everything is, that I'm glad I am where I am. That's all I really have to say. I'm just so happy about all that. So yeah, no regrets on my end either. So I love this one, and I'm really curious to hear what you have to say about this next one. But what is your motto?
Sorry, we told a joke about that earlier today from Lion King.
What's the motto with you?
What's the motto with you?
What's the motto with you?
Give me a second to think about that. Man,
that's right. Hey, I'll go ahead and throw mine out.
Yeah.
And it's something that I think I get it from my dad, and I tell the kids all the time. And I said, hey, you're Rivera. We never lose. We only learn. And it's one of those aspects of don't let quote unquote losses or defeat in life define your arc and where you're going to go. Hey, it may not be working now, but you know what? Take what you've learned and apply it and come out better on the other end. I love it, man. Your man put up here, no room for regret. I tell you what, Walter, I'm going to be reaching out to you because, man, I may want to roll the dice with Dave with Walter.
Yeah,
man,
get Walter on the show, dude. Walter would be great to have on the show.
I would love to have you on the show, brother, and just pick your brain. We may have to get together so I can see where you're at. I love this right here. Another person that I have a lot of respect for. What advice y'all provide someone in their 20s? Oh, okay. So I'll let you get to that one first, Murph, before we go.
Okay.
But Damien was somebody that I worked with at Livingstone College. He is actually going to be doing some great things. He is going to have his show on YouTube, a STEM show. You guys need to check him out. I tell you what, he is definitely the change that we want to see in people in the future. He's going to do some great things. So we will go ahead and get to that, Damien. But before we get to that, Murph,
okay.
Do you have what is your motto?
Okay, so this is actually going to tie into Damien's comment here. Thinking about it, and it kind of with yours as well. Failure. People sit back so much on failure, and it keeps them in. They keep in the bubble. They're so afraid to fail that it keeps them from the world, really, from
Hmm.
making a choice. And I'm kind of going through that right now and we talked about this last week with Bryon doing artwork and kind of taking it step by step. People want to jump in and you know fly a plane. They just want to get in a plane and fly. Well, you pull back a stick and push the throttle and go. But I mean, well, if you don't know about turbulence, if you don't know about steps, but don't don't let failure hold you back. You're going to fail. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. You are absolutely going to fail, but you're not going to fail every time.
Hmm.
You're gonna babies when they walk they fall. If they fall once, they're like they're not going to say F it. I'm done. I'm not going to walk now. And that's everything in life. You just don't let fail. What is it? Success is the failure is the first key to success. Something
Hmm.
along that lines. Absolutely. Don't be afraid to fail because that's how you learn. You don't know everything up here. You don't know everything you think you know, and you don't
Yeah,
know what you don't know. So
that is true. Um,
and
and also
and
kind of touching on that with the 20-year-olds, they could really absorb that because I think they get so caught up in the idea of, oh, this didn't work out. What's the next pivot? Well, I got to leave this behind. I got to move on to the next thing. So
yeah,
that is a really
right,
good way to look at that aspect um, for 20-year-olds. I think another piece that 20-year-olds may want
absolutely.
to think about is, and I know this may seem crazy, but in this day and age, and I've been talking to my kids about it, advice for a 20-year-old: there's nothing wrong with learning a trade. And everybody gets
Hmm.
so caught up in going to college, and colleges
Yeah,
basically shut down. There's colleges shutting down now. People trying to figure out what they're going to do going forward. The people that I saw still working during this COVID and working with a high level of success, still getting paid really well: electricians, roofers, heating, air conditioning people, people
especially
that
right
cut
now.
grass for a living. Yeah, you know what I mean. So
Yeah,
there's no shame in finding a career in a trade. What you're going to find is that if you do it, just like if you do anything well, and you're successful, people are going to gravitate to that. And when they gravitate to that, you become successful, and you're going to be okay in life. You're going to be able to afford and do a lot of the things that you want to do, and you don't
absolutely.
necessarily need to have that 4-year degree. And the reason I say this, and I think it's important that people realize that I'm a college professor. You know what I mean? I could be sitting here going,
Mm.
nah, screw that, man, go to college.
Right, right, yeah,
But
yeah,
there's, you know what I mean? There's so many avenues that you can take to success that the roadmap is not the same for anybody.
dude.
College
Not only
essentially is going to
not
be,
only are
you know what I
you
mean?
not only are you a professor, you got your doctorate, bro. I mean,
Yeah, right.
you've spent.
Yeah.
I mean, so it's not like you're sitting there. I got a bachelor's degree, and it'd be easy for me to say, hey, go to trade school. My bachelor's degree didn't do anything with me, but it is now.
Hmm.
2003 when I got it, it wasn't doing me any good because that's it. That what I wanted to do didn't necessarily need it. Now, when I was an equipment guy, yeah, I needed it, but I didn't give it. I never gave school the proper attention it deserved.
Hmm.
Um, but now I'm in a trade, and I'm actually going to go back to be a teacher, and I'm 40. That was a big choice. I could spend 20 years being a
Yeah.
teacher, or 30 more years at Disney until I retire and not be happy. I couldn't do that. I'm. It ties back into the happiness question, but still, for Damien, don't be afraid to make a change, man. Don't.
Yeah.
If you're not happy, if you don't think this is something you can do for 30, 40, 50 years, I mean, especially kids in their 20s, you know, uh, go for it. Take a change. Take a chance. Make a change. Do whatever you got to do. Make yourself happy. We got one life. One life. That's it. And I've learned that. I've learned that in the last really 5 months of sitting around thinking. Just if I don't like teaching, I can find something else. If I don't like something, I can do something else. In the end, it is. I don't know what the end's going to hold. I don't know if I'm going to die tomorrow. Let's
Yeah.
let's let's get it done.
Let's get it
Take
done. So we do have a few comments from some people. I love it. So we have Walter, again, do unto others as you would have them do unto you. That is a great one. Right now, we need to see more people doing that. People want to be treated kind and dignity and respect, but they're not treating people kind and with dignity and respect. You might not see it, the reason, but it's there to help. I don't know if that makes sense. It does make sense, and it makes complete sense. I completely get that. I love this one. Every day is a second chance. Love life. That's true. Be happy.
Absolutely.
I love it. So here we have Alan Baldwin. He said, I love that. Also here, Walter Horn, trade. You're talking deep. So many roads to get there. Just doing it the right way. And that's a key thing. If you're going to do something, go about it. Be passionate about it. Go about it. And like you said, do it the right way. If you are happy at what you do, you will never work a day in your life. That's from Dad. And I could agree with my father on that one because my official start date with Flagler College was August 19th, 2019. So I guess essentially I haven't worked in a year since I've been, because I absolutely, you know what I mean? And I've been a college professor, and I love being a college professor. So essentially, I guess since 2004, I haven't really, quote unquote, worked a day in my life because I'm very passionate. I love it. But this last year has been just absolutely amazing. And I'm just absolutely loving it as well.
Good.
So let's see. So here we go. There were a couple other things, but Murph, we are getting close to about 50 minutes. So I want to jump to this last one just to give you your chance on your final thoughts. Words of wisdom, your thoughts on tonight, anything you want to kind of give. This is going to be kind of the last little piece of the Murph.
I think again, just don't necessarily take it from me, but because I took it from other people. You kind of learn from others' experiences, and listen to what they have to say, because people who have been through it know, may not. You may make it your own, but don't be afraid to make a change. Don't let your fear control you, and don't be afraid to fail.
I love it. And I know you said you're going to have last word, but your wife just popped in. So if I'll go ahead and throw this out there. Fear is okay, but don't let it rule you. That's true. Don't let it keep you back from something that could change your life. And you are so right on that. And coming from my mom, who says, and you are so right, you are right. And if my mom says it, it is definitely true. So ladies and gentlemen, I just want to throw this out there and say, Murph, thank you so much. I really appreciate you having you on the show tonight. Look forward to more conversations with you in the future, having you on the show again. And I can't wait till the time where we're hanging out again, my brother, and just kicking back, having a drink, and just being buddies, man, being brothers that we have been for such a long time. So thank you again. And I really appreciate you being on the show.
Yeah.
Have a good one, my friend.
Thank you.
So ladies and gentlemen, that wraps up tonight's episode. But one of the things I do want to do before we go is let you know that we are going to have a very interesting show next week. So one of the first individuals that reached out to me regarding the show was one of my students who's in one of my classes. Her name is Allie Miller. She is interested in the show Dark Tourism on Netflix. So next week, we're going to be talking about dark tourism. Allie is going to be a special guest on the show. I'm really looking forward to having her on. So if you are interested in learning a little bit about dark tourism, what it is a very interesting topic. It's something I've talked about in my tourism classes. But I think next week will be a fun discussion with Allie. I'm looking forward to having you join us again. For those of you that maybe tune in on the replay, again, please don't forget to share. Don't forget to like. Don't forget to hashtag replay. And everybody that joined us tonight and shared comments, really appreciate it. I did get a comment here from a Kathy Wilson. It says, great show, guys. Thank you so much. We really appreciate it. Anne Marie, we love you too. She said, love you, my boys. We love you very much. And my mom, got to give a shout out to my mom again. She says, you're welcome, dear Anne Marie. And Mom, thank you so much for chiming in to the show. So ladies and gentlemen, once again, thank you for tuning in. Really appreciate it. And you enjoy the rest of your evening. And don't forget, roll the dice with Dave.